Hey, it's Carr. So listen, I've been working on some bigger projects, so um, I wasn't going to make any smaller videos this week, but I saw some news that kind of upset me. And, people are always saying, oh, where's the outrage? Where's the outrage when it happens to people that are white? I can tell you, I've got your outrage right here. I don't know if you were watching the headlines, but in Arkansas last week, a sheriff's deputy shot and killed a 16-year-old for getting out of his truck and carrying a bottle of antifreeze. Yeah, I'm not making this up. Apparently, the teenager had been working on his truck. He was having some problems, and so when he was pulled over by the sheriff's deputy, he knew that his truck wouldn't stay in park when he pulled over. So he got out with a bottle of antifreeze to use it as a wedge under the back tire so it wouldn't roll into the deputy's cruiser. And as he went around to the back of his truck with a bottle of antifreeze, a neon blue bottle of antifreeze, I remind you, the officer drew his weapon and fired, fatally wounding this teenager. His name is Hunter Britton. The teenager's name is Hunter Britton. And regardless of if he's a white teenager, the fact of the matter is that this should be a perfect example of why we do not need the state to hold a monopoly on violence. We do not need the state to be the ones to determine who gets to live or die at a moment's notice. And moreover, when I talk about how we can't legislate away some of our problems, some of the things that are affecting this society, this is one of the things I'm talking about. We need to fundamentally rethink why we need to have somebody with a gun do a traffic stop, because that's the cold hard facts is right now. If you are pulled over, any interaction with the police, be it a traffic stop, a citation, jaywalking, has the potential to escalate to lethal force, has the potential to end in you losing your life. Sometimes it can just be a matter of asserting your rights. It doesn't matter if you're laying in bed. It doesn't matter if you're pulled over for speeding and you're a legal licensed gun carrier. It doesn't matter if you're being cited for selling untaxed cigarettes. It doesn't matter if you're holding a knife that may or may not be illegal in your pocket. Any interaction with the police right now as they exist can result in a fatal wound. It can result in lethal force brought about by the hands of the state. And I think that is something that needs to go. That is something that we should not be holding on to. This is not something that you can reform, because reforming it still operates within the unjust hierarchy that exists, where we have a police state, where we have an arm of the ruling class to keep everybody else in check via force. And right now, that is the paradigm. That is what's being imposed upon all of us. And make no mistake, it is also a class issue, because it's not being imposed upon the wealthy. Whereas there are cities I've lived in where if you don't pay, if you default on your city taxes, they send a cop to knock on your door. They issue a bench warrant or a capias for you because you defaulted on your city taxes. And again, any interaction with the police, I can't stress this enough, any interaction with the police can result in lethal force, and therefore can result in a loss of life of a citizen. Yeah, the sheriff down there in Arkansas has played a typical defense. He said that deputies have to make split-second decisions, and it would be wrong for them to second-guess them. Why do you need to make a split-second decision over somebody carrying a bottle of antifreeze? Why should they be in the position to make split-second decisions at a traffic stop? We do not need to have an immediate armed response for someone running a red light, or for someone running a stop sign, or for someone crossing over the center line. We don't need to have somebody with a weapon at the ready to tell somebody that they're driving recklessly or that they're doing an unsafe maneuver. This is just another sign that the police are an agent of the state to keep the people in line. And it's not something that you can reform. It's not something that we can legislate away. It's something that needs to be abolished post haste. I used to say that we needed to take time in our abolition to first build our community defense networks and empower our communities to fulfill the roles of safety and defense within our communities. But, at this rate, since it's not going to stop, every single year the police kill more citizens than they did the previous year. Honestly, I'm willing to take my chances. I am willing to take my chances with whatever we can come up with on the fly, as opposed to what we have going on right now, that a 16-year-old has his life snuffed out on the spot. Completely done. No graduation, no going to prom, no going to homecoming. 16-year-old boy was killed because he was trying to keep his truck from backing into a police car. When is that okay? That shouldn't even have the opportunity of happening. They can call it a bad apple, but the fact of the matter is that that has the chance of happening. That shouldn't even be plausible. That shouldn't even be possible. This is not something that should be allowed to happen in what we call a free society. We shouldn't have to fear death at the hands of police. We shouldn't have to fear death at the hands of the state. We shouldn't have to forego our rights as a person, as a human moving about this planet, whenever we encounter someone in a uniform with a polished piece of tin on their chest. And we need to stop acting like that is freedom. That's not freedom, and that's not an acceptable sacrifice of freedom for the safety of everyone else. There's a lot of people in Arkansas who are coming to terms with this reality. And so any of my brothers, any of my comrades, any of my sisters in Arkansas who have the opportunity to demonstrate and join the friends and family who have been demonstrating outside of the sheriff's office, please do so and use what we've learned over the last year and over the last decades, and use this as an opportunity to show people the truth about the system we live in, that you're not free if your life can be ended at a moment's notice without due process. And that's the worst part about this. When I suggest to people, especially the big pro-gun, Second Amendment self-defense crowd, I said, well, why is it never justified to use self-defense against the cops? The answer I always get, oh, well, you're supposed to have your day in court. You're supposed to take it up in court. Why don't the cops wait to take it up in court? The cops can be judge, jury, and executioner on the sidewalk. But I'm supposed to wait to have my day in court, assuming I survive. Assuming that I'm not giving them the opportunity to beat me to death on the sidewalk, or choke me out on the sidewalk, or kneel on the back of my neck, or shoot me in the back. This is real. These things happen. These things happen all the time. And yeah, police brutality, while it disproportionately affects people like me, it is an issue that affects people of all races. So everyone should be mad. Everyone should want to abolish the police. Everyone should want to do away with this system, because the only people that it serves is the wealthy owning class. The system of policing enforces an unjust hierarchy. It is part of an unjust hierarchy in and of itself. They serve capital. They serve the owners. This is why when you see evictions, the police aren't protecting the people from becoming homeless. They're protecting the property owners. They send police to evict people, to forcefully remove people from their homes. That's how they do it here in my city. That's how they do it across the country. They protect the moneyed class. Every step that they take is to protect the wealth. And it's about time we do away with this system. So anyway, I have some more scripted stuff coming up later. Please share it. Click like and subscribe. And just spread the word to anyone who will listen. This system can't be reformed. The whole bunch is already spoiled. It's not a matter of one or two bad apples. It's a spoiled bunch. And we need to get this rotten bunch of apples out as soon as possible.